Welcome back to Retirement Coffee Talk with Sharice Rivers at Zinnia Wealth. Online, you can find us at zinniawealth.com. That's our website. And Sharice is very active on Facebook all the time, giving you advice and updates about what's going on with people planning for retirement. So a lot on social media there for you. Check that out under the media tab on our website. Okay, so somebody writes into the Market Watch advice column, and he said this, and this is the only part of I'm going to tell you. He says, I spend 5 hours a day on my portfolio.
I'll spit out my water. Good gracious.
So somebody walks in, they listen to our radio show, and they get an appointment, and they sit down with you, and you're on the other side of the desk, and that's the first thing that comes out of their mouth. What do you say?
Out. Just kidding. No. Well, number one, this is a unique individual. They're either not working and not retired and they have the time, and or they're just really good at it.
Yeah.
And or number three, they just like doing it.
Yeah.
Right. And that's just their thing. And I've met people like that before. And it's okay if that's your thing. We have clients that still want to hold on to some of the reins, and we let you. Yeah. And then we manage the difference. And when you're tired of holding on to the reins, we're here to manage the rest. I mean, this happens a lot. But, my question is, do you really want to do that every day? And the people that I find that do that, eventually, it usually takes 12 months, sometimes 24 months, where they're just like, I'm over this. Your returns are beating my returns. And you can have this. Or sometimes their returns, I had two clients where their returns were slightly higher than ours, but they're like, I really just don't want to do this anymore. Yeah. You're doing great. I'm like, do I really need a couple of percentage points more? No, I'm not going to, run out of money. We're still growing. And so there becomes reasoning of why I'm in retirement and what I really need to do. Happy wife, happy life. And you have no idea how many people come in and the spouse is like, I don't want them managing the money anymore, or at least need them to be shooting off the hip with you because I'm not sure they're overexposed and we want to make sure our money's here. So there's a lot of types of reasons why we're seeing those types of people, but it's okay if you're good at it. We want you to be good at it. If it keeps your brain ticking and alive, but I hope you're sharing your time and enjoying retirement in other ways.
What about the idea of this? You mentioned the couple. So let's say it's the guy who's doing all this, and the wife comes to the meeting, and she's just over there looking at her phone going, this is his thing. Don't worry, I let him do that. Someday he might not be there. And if he's spending 5 hours a day tinkering with this thing, do you expect your wife to spend 5 hours a day doing the same?
Yes.
No.
And that is why that individual is in my office, because they realize it. They don't want to admit it, but they have come into my office to sit with us because they're like, okay, I'm good at this. My wife, she doesn't want anything to do with it. So I need my wife to like somebody that she can trust and that I trust, and I can watch them doing what they're doing so that when I do pass away, I know she's in good hands. Yeah. We get so many people just for that in our office. And the guys out there like me and the women in our office because they really want a female to be working with their wife, because all women, most of us are mother gooses out there, and they know a woman's going to take care of a woman, right? A woman's still going to take care of a man in this industry, but men know men.
There's a little...
And those men don't want their wife to be with their financial advisor that's a man, which I think is incredible. And I learned over time, I'm like, oh, right time, right place for me then.
There is some mama bear happening over at Zinnia Wealth. I can tell you that for a fact.
We protect our ladies for sure.
The other thing that jumps out at me on this is, and I only gave you the very first line of this, I spend 5 hours a day working on my portfolio, but here are my questions, and then bum, 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 bum. So even though he spends 5 hours a day on his portfolio, he still has questions. And I wonder what he's missing. If it's all about markets up and down and day trading and doing that kind of thing and trying to beat the market, okay. But are you thinking about taxes? Are you thinking about legacy? Are you thinking about Social Security? Are you thinking about Medicare? Or is your entire focus on this one part of retirement planning and you're missing some of the obvious?
You let me manage your money, and I'll show you how to save hundreds of thousands of millions of dollars and your legacy passed on to that surviving spouse and your kids. Tell me you can beat that return. And you can't. You can't. Try me. We're that good at that. And we forget that moving part. That's just the tax part. Yeah. I'm talking about the Medicare part and the Social Security part. And then we have the elder planning part, how to get ready for that, because don't go buy a John Hancock or Genworth plan. There are other things that are probably a little bit better for you, and most people can self-pay themselves. So there's so much out there, and I want to save you money. And if we can save you money against Uncle Sam, we're going to.
Well, one of the things about this show that we say, hey, if you are a do-it-yourselfer, come on in. Let's see how we can help. If you are a person with a clean slate and you don't know where to go with this, come on in. Let's see if we can help you. I mean, I know that over the years that we've been doing the show, that you have taken people from one end of this scale to the other, people who have no knowledge, people who are, probably day traders, and you can find a place for them with some retirement planning.
You can. And a lot of times these guys who are doing it on their own, not only do they want their wife to be okay if something happens to them, but they've just realized they had a misstep somewhere. We talked about that earlier with another client.
Yeah.
They're 75. They just feel like they're misstepping, and they can feel it and they can tell. That happens to men also and women. And when it comes to managing money, they start to lose confidence. And then they're just like, gosh, there's more to life than sitting here for a couple hours here and there. And then they kind of wake up and they smell the coffee. They're like, oh, this is what Sharice has been talking about.
You and I, we've done that show about cognitive decline. This is going to happen. I mean, the math and everything like that, you get into your 70s and things are going to slip. It just happens. I mean, you talked about physically. What about mentally?
Yes. And if you guys did not hear that podcast with Jonathan Fleece with Empath, go back and hit the rewind button on our podcast. It's a good one for getting kids involved or not involved, or getting you to think through these things when we get to this elder planning of life and what to prep ahead of time.
You're listening to Retirement Coffee Talk with Sharice Rivers at Zinnia Wealth. We would love to have the opportunity to get to know you, to understand what you want in retirement. Maybe we can help. Sharice has been at this an awfully long time and has seen, the gambit, as we've said, from people who have a clean slate, have no idea. I just tell me what I need to do, and you do it, Sharice. Or the person who is really actively involved. You're going to fall somewhere in between there. Let us see if we can help. Here's our number, 833-368-3680. 833-368-3680. We'll do a free appointment with you. No obligation, no cost there. Let's just sit down and talk about what you want in retirement. You can also use our website, zinniawealth.com, ZINNIA wealth.com, and click on the gold box. You'll be on your way.
Thanks for listening to the Retirement Coffee Talk podcast. If you have questions or would like to begin the process of building a tailored retirement plan, call Zinnia Wealth at 833-368-3680 or find us online at zinniawealth.com.
Investment advisory services offered through Zinnia Wealth Advisory, LLC, a registered investment advisor. The firm only conducts business in states where it is properly registered or is excluded from registration requirements. Registration is not an endorsement of the firm by securities regulators and does not mean the advisor has achieved a specific level of skill or ability. Insurance products are offered through Zinnia Wealth Management, LLC, Florida license L078655, and Sharice Rivers, Florida license P037744. Zinnia Wealth Advisory, LLC, and Zinnia Wealth Management, LLC are affiliated entities. The information presented is believed to be current. It should not be viewed as personalized investment advice. All expressions of opinion reflect the judgment of the presenter on the date of the podcast and are subject to change. The information presented is not an offer to buy or sell or a solicitation of any offer to buy or sell any of the securities discussed. You should consult with a professional advisor before implementing any of the strategies discussed. Any legal or tax information provided in this podcast is general in nature. Always consult an attorney or tax professional regarding your specific legal or tax situation. Any client experience discussed on this show are unique to that client. Annuity and life insurance guarantees are subject to the claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company. If you withdraw money from or surrender your contract within a certain time after investing, the insurance company may assess a surrender charge. Withdrawals may be subject to tax penalties and income taxes. Persons selling annuities or other insurance products receive compensation for these transactions. These commissions are separate and distinct from fees charged for advisory services. Insurance products also contain additional fees and expenses. Social Security rules and regulations are subject to change at any time. Always consult with your local Social Security office before acting upon any information provided herein. References to specific investments should not be construed as being past specific recommendations. The returns for various indices discussed in this podcast do not represent the performance of the firm or any of its advisory clients. Returns do not reflect the impact that advisory fees will have on an investment. Past performance may not be indicative of future results. All investment strategies have potential for profit or loss. Different types of investments involve higher and lower levels of risk. There is no guarantee that a specific investment strategy will be suitable or profitable for an investor's portfolio. Historical performance returns for investment indexes and/or categories usually do not deduct transaction and/or custodial charges or advisory fees, which would decrease historical performance results. There are no guarantees that a portfolio will match or outperform a specific benchmark. Investments in fixed income products are subject to liquidity risk, market risk, index rate risk, credit risk, inflation risk, purchasing power risk, and taxation risk. Because bond prices fluctuate continually, their yields change constantly.